Hello everybody, it's Sunshine. Hey, I'm tired today. I'm very tired today. I'm not feeling so great. I'm going to be talking today about my illness and what has happened, what I've gone through while doing a craft, which is wood burning. I got a cute little box and we're going to want to burn it. So let's get to it. And let me get some coffee in me first, okay? Okay, so here's the project. It's on this really cute little box. Look, it's got like hardware and stuff. It's really cute. Okay, so what I did was I used carbon paper, which I used to love to play with as a child because it used to be something everybody had. And I used this design, which is nothing more than a color page that I printed. My printer is really pretty, so excuse that. But I printed it, and then all I did was, where is it? Well, I have like a dowel that was sharpened. I used as a hair stick every once in a while. Okay, I just traced it with that. You can use a colored pen. If you use a different colored pen every time when you're making multiples, you know exactly where you've been, because there was a couple spots I missed. So I'm using this now as a reference. So the story of what happened to me. Okay, back in 2000 when everybody was locked down and everything. I enjoyed that, by the way. But anyway, when everything got back in order, I worked as a substitute teacher, which I love, may I say. Absolutely love that job. So I was in the high school. My girls attended the high school at that time. And I heard this kid, he was like sniffling really bad. And it was allergy season, didn't think much of it. I gave him tissues. I know who he is. He's friends with my daughter. Well, I went home. Didn't work the next day. And my daughter came home that night and she said, he tested positive. And I said, are you serious, Fred? That means I have to stay away from the school for 2 weeks. All right. Just for courtesy's sake. I mean, they hadn't contacted me. They didn't do anything, I don't think, for the substitute. She just kind of dealt with it. I don't know. I never got notified. But anyway, I went ahead and I stayed home for 2 weeks. And about a week and a half into it, I started feeling cruddy. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling cruddy. You know, I should stay home. So I did. I was sick for about 3 weeks. Weak for about 6. Real weak for about 6. And then I was back to work. No biggie. And that was in November. Now in February? Yeah, February. Beginning of February. I started getting really sick. I mean, like really sick. Didn't feel good. Constantly congested. Stomach pains. And I started losing hair. I mean, lots of hair. I started losing so much of my hair. I lost probably half my hair, and my hair is really long. Well, had been really long. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I don't feel good. I started having severe stomach problems and intestinal issues. Could not figure out what was going on. And I don't do prescriptions and stuff if I can avoid them. I'm very natural. Most of my problems can be cured through diet. So I go my technical way. I have no health insurance, mind you. And I could get health insurance, but that's our food budgets. So my husband and I would start that. So I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? So I'm trying to troubleshoot what it is that's causing all these health issues on me. I have no idea at this point what's going on to my body, okay? And I've been living a low-carb lifestyle off and on. You know, well, it's reduced carb lifestyle for a long time. It's how I was monitoring and controlling my diabetes. Let's see, I need to look at the picture. Where is that? That is... Okay, this is supposed to be right here. So that I don't have to be on any medications for diabetes, because diabetes is very bad. So I just quit eating carved bread. And I'll still eat, like, I won't eat potatoes. Potatoes are evil. So I still eat things like I eat sweet potatoes that I grow, and I eat every great once in a while I'll eat corn, but corn has never settled with my stomach very well, so I don't think I should be eating corn in the first place. I don't think it agrees with me. So anyway, I've been eating this special diet for a long, long time. No problems with it whatsoever. Blood sugar was always normal. And I started having all these health issues. And I thought, well, is it my diet? What's going on? We rounded up what little money we had, because I'd been sick for quite a while and unable to work. So now we're down to one income. And I go to the doctor and they test me for my nutrients and all that, to see if I'm having a vitamin deficiency, because it's kind of acting like a vitamin deficiency, you know. And that's not it. That's not it. So I'm on my own again, trying to figure out what the heck is going on with my body. So at the worst, I'm writing letters to my children because I think I'm gone. I'm going to be a goner. There's something seriously wrong. We can't afford me to go to the doctor, and I don't want to tell my husband how bad I think it is and worry him, because we are having so much money problems. He's already worried to pieces. So my health is slowly getting worse. And then I start having these like toxicity blisters, and my husband is 20 years clean and sober. Praise the Lord. So I'm like, okay, if he says this is what addicts get, you have addicts blisters, what's going on? He says, you're toxic. What's making you toxic? And I'm like, I have no idea what's making me toxic. I just don't feel good. I have no idea at this point what's going on. Okay, so all in all here, I decide to start going on a restrictive diet. I mean, restrictive. Read a book, Dr. Gundry, and the longevity, and his longevity, and I don't think that's the one I read, but I've read all, like a lot of them now. Okay. So I decided that I need to go on a restrictive diet to find out what's causing this. So I go on a restrictive diet. And lo and behold, I now know what it is that was making me so sick, and I feel very much better. I have developed an allergic reaction to dairy and beef. Tested lamb on Passover, and all meat gives me some congestion, but I did not have any stomach pain, any dizziness, or anything like that. Now, if I have anything with dairy in it, I feel like I'm going to faint. I get this really weird dizziness going on. Just really difficult to deal with. It really is. I don't know how to explain it. I just start feeling really sick. Really sick. Have trouble doing everything. So at the worst, my blood oxygen level was dropping down in the 70s, crashing, and then going right back up. Like I had the you know what. But it wasn't the you know what. So I was very, very, very confused on what was actually going on in my body. So one of the things that I had problems with was difficulty breathing, extreme intestinal issues, and all that. And I feel fine. Now, I live a pretty gluten-free life, so I'm good on that. I take my vegan multivitamins, vegetarian and vegan multivitamins that are clean vitamins. And, well, they're supposed to be clean. I hope they are. The herbalist said they were clean. And I was really bad. And at one point, I'm not so sure that I didn't actually have a heart attack. At one point, I felt really bizarre and had chest pains for days. And I didn't go see a doctor. The doctors, in my opinion, are quacks. I trust very few doctors. And it's mainly because they are so quick to give me a pill to fix it. When they told me I was a diabetic, I was like, okay. But I know that diabetes is not a health issue. It is a lifestyle issue. So you can cure the condition with change of your lifestyle. So, duh, I changed my lifestyle and everything. But I don't know. I don't trust doctors. To me, they want you to stay sick. And I don't want to stay sick. So, now, we threw out my microbiome and my gut was totally off. Everything was just off. I was falling apart. I really was. So, now my husband is got his channel, Ground Up Guts, where he is homesteading in hopes to heal me completely. And now we're doing these YouTube channels, and mine is kind of a play channel. It is mentally satisfying to me. I've always been like super crafty. I do all forms of crafts. I have so much stuff. Oh my gosh. And if I see something I like, I want to make it rather than buy it. But I tend to make it with scraps and junk that I have sitting around. Or how can I do this very, very cheap? So, this is my story. How my life got turned upside down, like the Fresh Prince says. If I eat something, now a first symptom of dairy is the head congestion. Second is difficulty breathing. By then, I normally start my activated charcoal in a large dose. And then the symptoms, the heart palpitations normally stop if I get it done in time. Take that in time. And because it does mess with my heart. I personally think it tried to stop my heart. I really do. And I assume I never had a problem prior to being sick. But I want to let everybody know that my health goes bad every once in a while. And sometimes just going to town is too much for my body. And that eliminates me being able to work as many hours as a substitute, which kind of stinks because I need money. You know, we need money. I've tried to find jobs online. Unfortunately, this has affected my brain. My thinking process isn't always right now. If something's off, I have a lot of trouble. There are days that I am just incapable of substituting. And the school system here is so nice to me. I mean, the VOTAC director, he is amazing. He'll come up, check on me and everything, because he knows I've been really, really sick. And they really appreciate me coming in, because of the fact that the substitutes now are nothing. It doesn't pay very well anymore, not since the economy kind of went to crap, and the school systems can't afford to pay me much more. So I used to be making really good money at it. I mean, it was a good job. Now it's pretty much a minimum wage job. And on a bad day, you know, when you have to deal with a lot of crap, because let's face it, they're kids, and they can give you crap. But I do love the job, though. I love working with the youth. Oops. After being sick for so long, it's been a year since my symptoms got real bad. And I still have a lot of health issues. I still get really tired really easy. Tried doing housekeeping, couldn't keep up with it. It made me too tired. And when it started throwing off, I felt really bad because I needed the money so desperately, but I was having trouble just standing for that long. I had difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, heart palpitations, oxygen level would go down, and it was my body freaking out because it's gone totally toxic at that point, you know. And I'd come home from doing housekeeping and spend 3 days in the bed, you know. It was not good. I wouldn't wish what has happened to me on anybody. It's bad. I know I'm not the only one that's had these symptoms and these situations occur. The weakness in the legs, the shrinking of your legs, like my legs like shrank for a while there. And it was hard to stand. I had symptoms of magnesium and potassium deficiency, vitamin D. I actually did have a vitamin D deficiency. Difficulty with everything. I mean, it was just terrible. Getting up and out of bed, my husband was so concerned for me. And as much as we needed money, he never got on to me about not being able to work, because he knew I was that sick. He was always an angel. He is my hero. And he's a wonderful man. I recommend watching his channel. He's just starting it out. He always studied permaculture and all that kind of stuff. So if you're into homesteading or planting, livestock, any of that. He's going to be discussing everything we do for my health. And that's ground up guts. From the ground up to the guts. He's fixing my guts. He's fixing me. With all the love he has, he is fixing me. And he is a funny guy. He is a clown. I love him so much. He is hilarious. He is my hero. And see, I'm not very good at this. This is not my strong suit. I am an amateur wood burner, but I'm like, it would look so cute wood burned on there. And it does look so cute. Doesn't that look cute? Now I'm going to do both sides, and I'm possibly going to put roses up the sides of this box too. Now I have to say though, of all the techniques I've done for transfer, I've done the iron-on transfer, when you draw it on with the special pencil and stuff. This is an award winner. I love using the carbon paper to transfer patterns. It is so easy. And it does get a little confusing if you did like me and I used a stick rather than a pen. So I really couldn't like see it. It gets a little confusing. So I don't think I'm actually going to do much editing to this video because I think everybody just needs to hear what I had to say. Now, I am a believer in Yeshua, Jesus. I am a Torah observant or Hebrew rooted. He is the Messiah. I don't care what people think of it, that I am. I wouldn't have been able to emotionally get through all this without him. That looks so weird. But that is the design, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. He was the one that turned me on to Dr. Gundry. I also started doing fasting, but I had a lot of complications, and I'm going through the change. So then I read Dr. Mindy Pell's book, Fast Like a Girl. Amazing read, guys. Amazing read. I feel so much better. She was right. What I needed to be doing, my hormones were getting out of whack because I wasn't fasting correctly. Now I'm fasting correctly, and I eat a lot of potatoes during progesterone. I always have trouble saying that. So sweet potatoes, love my sweet potatoes. Butternut squash. So it's like I can have them certain times, and then chocolate I get certain times. It's like I have a schedule of eating now. Not only on the foods I can eat, but when I can eat them. But all in all, my health does better. Going to town, I will admit, throws it off, because I don't know if it's just that I get around dairy. I don't know. Sometimes, if I go to town, I'll be sick and have to sleep the whole next day. And I don't know why. Sometimes it happens like that, and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know if there's something in town that I'm allergic to, or if I'm getting around something that irritates me. I honestly do not know. And it's getting irritating because I want my life back. I'm happy to say that, one of the things that happened was, like the other day I got dairy and my nails all broke off, right? They all just fall off. Now, when I was having my worst part of it, my nails got so paper thin that they actually hurt. Like if you've ever smashed a nail and had a baby nail that exposed underneath it, that was underneath it, how sensitive it is. That was how my hands were. All my nails were like that. All my fingers were like that. It was horrid. It was horrid. It hurt so bad. So bad. And I just stood around and cried all the time. I did. I didn't know what was going on. Doctors didn't know what was going on. I need to go in for allergy tests, but I don't have money to. And I don't have a big enough following to ask everybody to like give me money. So I still don't have finances to go to the doctor at the moment. I want to go and have actual allergy tests done and find out if there's something else that's not as dramatic as dairy that is making me feel sickly when I go to town, maybe. But it's like it's Passover and unleavened bread season right now, and I went and bought myself gluten-free matzah. So I'm trying, and I honestly don't know what to do. It's hard. It's very hard. The matzah gives me problems. Everything gives me problems. But I don't know what to do. It's just like, I would love to go and get the testing done to find out which allergies I have, what it is that I need to be avoiding, because I think there's something else, but it's real mild, but it's just making me sick enough when I come in contact with it, but I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what contact I'm coming in with that would make me feel sick. As much as I try to get through my life, you know. So I've almost finished this. Now, if I use the wrong word for things, that happens every once in a while. You can tell if I've had something wrong, if I've ate something wrong or come in contact with something wrong, because it gets worse. And I'll notice it in my videos and I'll be like, that's the wrong word. Why am I doing that? And I try to cut those out, but in case I don't catch them, you know, or if they're during a crucial point when I can't cut them out, I feel like an idiot, because I'm like, I sound stupid. And it's like, no, I'm not stupid. I'm very well educated, I swear. It's my health. It's my health. If you have similar health conditions after the you know what, I would actually be quite interested in hearing from you in my comments. I really would. Because sometimes I feel so alone. Because at the worst, I was having symptoms of MS, cancer, lupus, all these conditions, and I had no answer. I really didn't. There was no answer. Nobody could tell me why I was having all these symptoms. And some of these diseases, like MS, they don't actually know what causes it. Now, I did have aspartame poisoning with it also, so I no longer can have aspartame or, oh, what do you call it? Allulose. No, not cellulose. Multidextrin. Can't have it. Can't have MSG. Can't have, oh, there's so many things I can't have now. So all these artificial sweeteners, out. I can have stevia leaf extract every great once in a while. But I get Zevia soda because that was the hardest thing to give up, was soda pop. I thought, this is insane. So now I got through all that, the severe dehydration, the side effects that you get with withdrawal was terrible. And once I was off of it, my health started improving. And then more I research, the more I find out these are poisons. They're putting them in everything. The maltodextrin is in everything. There's like hardly anything I can have. So I eat a lot of fresh vegetables. I make a lot of stuff. I live real low gluten, so only natural carbs, healthy, good, positive carbs. Oh, that's so pretty. Now I need to do some shading. So with the illness, I've had a lot of people ridicule me. They act like I'm just lazy and everything, and it's really upsetting to me. It really is, because this has been a major battle in my life. My children have been very supportive of me. Shout out to my babies. Love you guys. Love you guys. My husband got me a little companion dog. I got Jed, and he's like my little mascot. He's a cutie patootie. He's mama's little helper. And he helps me out a lot emotionally through all this. So he had a good time during Passover. It was his first Passover, and I gave him the leg of lamb bone. And I tell you, he tried to take it to bed, and my husband hadn't come to bed yet, and I was laying down, and I'm like, what is he doing? I look over, and he's trying to bury it on my husband's side of the bed. It was so cute. He really liked his leg of lamb. He really did. He was a good boy. He was a good boy. He got a little toy lamb and a chicken flavored bone. They sell those at the Dollar Tree, and it was huge. It's like, he's tiny. He's like maybe 6 pounds, so it was like half his size, and he really liked it. I like watching him try to eat it because it's so big. It's so funny. See, I messed that up. See, that happens. Wasn't paying attention and I tipped it down. Gotta be careful. It's a good thing it's for personal use. I wouldn't be able to sell it now, would I? This is also the bottom where it opens, you know. So but anyway, that's my story. I want to say, and I'm sticking to it because that old saying from that song. Yes, I listen to country music. And gospel. Lots of gospel. Ralph Stanley. Fave. Love bluegrass. Tried to learn how to play the banjolele. I always loved banjo. Wanted to learn so bad. And it's just a no-go. My talent level is 0. So I cannot pick, and that's kind of the important part of a banjo, is being able to pick. But I can play it like a ukulele, so, and it's got a different sound, so that's kind of neat. But yeah, my son bought it for me. He's such a sweet guy. I've got the most wonderful family in the world. They're all wonderful. I was so afraid I was going to leave them so early. And I didn't know how my children would deal with it, honestly. That was my concern, how my kids would deal with it. The world's going to heck in a handbasket. It's not a great place to be anymore. We need to be strong, be faithful, hang on tight. Feels like we ought to be holding on for dear life at this point. It feels like this ride's out of control. Just a lot of faith. But my daughter said I ought to vlog. It's called vlogging when you do videos, yeah. And I don't know. I don't like the way I look. Does that make sense? So I was like, eh. But this isn't bad. This isn't bad. I can do this. This isn't bad. I feel a lot less self-conscious, right? My eyes are real puffy today and I don't feel great. But I went for a drive and the allergens are like way high today. I mean, way high. So that makes a huge difference too, because I have allergy issues. I want more right there. That one seems naked. It looks like it needs more. Oh, Jed's got a squeaky toy. I want to figure out how that one guy on YouTube makes the little guy go across the screen. Because what I thought would be so funny is if I took video of Jed playing and stuff and just put him hidden on my video. You have to wait to see him. You know, wouldn't that be cute? And you could just be watching the video and they'd be like, there's Jed! Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Because he is a cute little dog. But, okay. So here we go. I'm done with one side of this, it looks like. What do you guys think? Turned out decent? Oh, kind of pretty. Not bad for an amateur. I think it'll do. I think, ouch, it will do. Put that up there. Cool. Thank you for coming by, guys. I really appreciate you. This would be great if I could turn this into an income, but YouTube and stuff. My crafting isn't very good, and I tend to do so sporadic. I think it's the ADHD, because I have, like, always had issues growing up and stuff, of being the daydreamer, you know. That's probably why I sporadically change my crafts randomly and just be like, hey, today I want to do this. So, but anyway, you guys have a great day. Come by and see me again. I enjoyed spending time with you. Oh, like my page so I know you enjoyed it, our time together. And sharing would be wonderful. And also subscribe. And that way you can see more of my stuff and hear more of my ridiculous life. So You guys have a good one. Thank you for coming by.